Discover the incredible truth. On her birthday, Mom thought losing me would be life-changing. The sun poured warmly over the quaint little town, the kind where everyone waved at one another, and children dashed through front yards, giggling without care. Sarah stirred awake to the sounds of laughter floating through her open window. The joyful chaos, a sweet reminder today, was Lily's 10th birthday. A sparkle of hope ignited within her, but it smothered under the heavy weight of uncertainty that clung to her like a forgotten coat. She eagerly slipped into the day, her heart lightened by anticipation. Yet she couldn't shake the anxiety that gnawed at her heart as family and friends started to gather in their backyard under the towering oak tree. The vibrant balloons beckoned, and glimmers of joy danced in the air. But each present unwrapped seemed to amplify Sarah's insecurities. The lavish gifts from well-off neighbors weighed on her, reminding her of her struggles to create a simple birthday cake. It felt like a glaring spotlight shining on her shortcomings. Then she spotted it. That affluent couple newcomers to the neighborhood leaned in close to Lily, their smiles wide, as they showered her with sweet words. A quiver ran through Sarah when snatches of their conversation pierced her thoughts. The mention of adoption hit her like a rogue wave, sending her thoughts spiraling. Could they be serious? The fear clawed at her chest, whispering frantic doubts. Would they replace her? Could she compete in this world built on wealth? An unbearable shadow of panic settled in. Had she given enough to raise Lily right? The fear of losing her daughter tightened like a vice. Seeing the warmth and spark in Lily's eyes while those strangers fawned over her triggered a volcanic eruption of protective desperation. Unable to hold back her turmoil, Sarah confronted the couple, her voice trembling as fear and indignation entwined. "You think you could just come in here and take her?" Gasps ricocheted around the gathering, the once cheerful atmosphere morphing into a battlefield. Friends backed away, caught in shock and confusion, unsure how to intervene. The vivid colors of Lily's party faded into shadows. Her heart pounded heavily as the sun's warmth turned bitter. Laughter turned to whispers as her neighbors watched, and rage turned to shame. The very community she adored was slipping through her fingers. Yet, amidst the chaos lining this dark moment, a flicker ignited within her. What mattered most wasn't money or gifts. It was love. Love born from shared struggles. How could she have forgotten? They were family in heart, not possession. Just when glimmers of hope arose, a lingering question hovered. Would forgiveness and understanding sweep over the ashes of this warlike scene? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Breathless, her heart heavy with uncertainty, Sarah turned to Lily, the air between them thick with unspoken fears, both trembling at the edge of an emotional cliff. What lies ahead? Would their bond survive the storm, or would it unravel into threads of doubt? The threads of love tested, stretched to their limits. Their story hung in the balance, waiting for a moment that could change everything. The silence that followed Sarah's outburst felt like an eternity. The guests, once buzzing with excitement, now stood frozen in their tracks, eyes darting between Sarah and the couple who had unwittingly ignited this firestorm. The air was thick with tension, a taut string waiting to snap. Lily's bright smile faded, her eyes darting back and forth between her mom and the strangers. "Mom, I didn't mean." Sarah's heart shattered at the sight of her daughter's confusion. Her words hung in the air like fog, heavy and suffocating. "I know, sweetie, Sarah's voice cracked. She kneeled down, her hands gripping Lily's shoulders. "I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to scare you." The warmth she had felt earlier was drifting away, replaced by gnawing regret. The couple, slightly taken aback, shifted but didn't step back. They didn't seem threatening. Rather, their expressions morphed from surprise to concern. The woman in a crisp white sundress stepped forward cautiously. "We're just getting to know Lily. We thought it would be nice to give her something special today." We didn't mean any harm, her husband added, his tone softer. You don't understand, Sarah whispered fervently, her heart racing. She's my whole world. I just want her to be safe, I want her to know she's loved. Lily's face softened, and the connection between mother and daughter flickered with a hint of reassurance amid the chaos. Sarah gently cupped Lily's face, her thumbs brushing against her cheeks. You will always be my girl, no matter what. Lily's eyes glistened with unshed tears. I know, Mom. And in that moment, Sarah felt a surge of love, a tether crooning to her heart, reminding her what she feared losing the most was right there before her. The neighborhood crowd seemed to breathe again, their collective gasps transforming subtly into quiet murmurs of understanding. As the seconds ticked by, the laughter of children returned, weaving their innocence back into the air. One by one, the guests resumed their activities, a little more cautious now, but the essence of the party ignited back to life like a flickering flame. Yet, a shadow still loomed over Sarah. Would you mind if we talked privately? The woman asked, her voice steady but kind. I promise we only want to care for her. Sarah stood tall, emotions swirling within her like a tempest. Trust was fragile, and this moment could either strengthen their bond or push her further into despair. She glanced at Lily, who nodded slightly, urging her mother into action. Okay, Sarah finally replied, her heart pounding, uncertainty wrestling with a flicker of hope. But don't think I'm going to let this go easily. Together they stepped away, tension hanging in the air between them, leaving the laughter of the party swirling behind like a distant echo. With each step, questions flooded Sarah's mind. What did they want? Was this the beginning of a new friendship or a confrontation? As they settled on a quiet bench beneath the oak tree, distant voices faded. Only the murmurs of the leaves danced around them. Would this conversation lead to understanding or further division? The moment was fragile, like a teetering scale hanging in the balance. But one thing was clear: nothing would ever feel the same again. The thread of their faith in each other was fraying, but deep within, a flicker of love persisted, waiting to ignite anew. But then, just as Sarah began to share her heart, she heard a shout from the back of the yard. Lily, come quick. You have to see this. Heart racing, she turned back, the question echoing in her mind. What could possibly happen next? Lily's eyes widened with excitement, darting away from Sarah and the couple as she ran back toward the group of children. The woman in the sundress watched her leave, a knowing look crossing her face. Sarah couldn't help but feel a flicker of annoyance. This was the moment they needed to address their concerns, and yet, distractions loomed like thunderclouds over them. Please don't let her feel like she is caught in the crossfire, the woman said gently, as if reading the thoughts swirling in Sarah's mind. Sarah took a deep breath, forcing herself to stay calm. She wanted to scream, to yell at both the couple and the universe for putting her on this precarious path. Yet, the sincerity in the woman's voice held her back. I just don't want anyone to threaten her happiness or safety, Sarah said, her voice trembling. The couple exchanged a glance, and the man, his face etched with kindness, stepped closer. We understand you're protective, and we would be too. We care about Lily. She deserves a birthday filled with joy and laughter, surrounded by people who look out for her. But you don't know her, Sarah retorted, her heart thumping louder. You don't know what she has been through. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to protect my daughter. All we want is to be part of her life, to support you however we can, the woman offered, the sun catching the corner of her eye, highlighting her earnestness. Just let us share in the joy that she brings. Just then, a booming laughter erupted from the crowd. You won't believe it. It's the biggest bubble you've ever seen. Sarah's attention was pulled away. She caught a glimpse of Lily, her face lit up like sunshine. A giant bubble floated overhead, spinning and shimmering, as the children chased after it, giggling and screaming in delight. See? Sarah said, gesturing toward Lily's laughter, the sound wrapping around her heart. That's what it's all about. That pure joy. Her happiness is my priority. Exactly, the man said gently, and we want to be part of that happiness. He paused, searching for words. We know it's a big ask. But if you let us, we believe we can help support you and ensure her world stays bright. Sarah felt lost in those earnest brown eyes. Could this really be true? There was tension in her chest, battle lines drawn deep in her heart. She wanted to scream, to say no, to push them away. Yet, a small part of her considered their offer. What if this was an opportunity? What if they really meant to support Lily? As she mulled it over, another shout broke through the confusion. Lily, you have to touch it before it pops. Reality crashed in, pulling her back to the situation. The laughter resumed, drowned in the sweet sound of childhood innocence, while her heart wrestled with conflicting emotions. Could she trust these strangers? Did they hold the key to opening a door she had long kept locked? I don't know if I'm ready to share her, Sarah whispered finally, fear creeping back in like shadows. The conversation felt like balancing on a tightrope stretching way too far. Then let us prove ourselves, the woman said softly, her eyes shimmering with understanding. Start with small steps. Besides, we only want to see her smile. Caught in the whirlwind of uncertainty, Sarah looked back at Lily, her daughter now dancing under the sunlight, oblivious to the worries that consumed her mother. The moment hung on a knife's edge, the tension thick, and just as unity felt possible, another voice shouted, this time more urgent. Mom, you really need to see this. Turning around, Sarah's heart raced. Whatever awaited her now, she felt a shiver of anticipation, something greater than fear. What was it that Lily wanted her to see? What could possibly shift the ground they were standing on? Sarah's heart pounded as she moved toward the sound of Lily's voice, drawn by her daughter's excitement. The world around her faded momentarily, replaced by the intense focus on that joyful yell. The other parents, laughing and chatting, formed a blur at the edges of her awareness. She could feel the rush in her ears, the warmth of the sun on her skin, and the gentle breeze welcoming her forward. Lily, she called, her voice tight with a mix of worry and curiosity. What was so important that it couldn't wait? As she rounded the edge of a cluster of picnic tables, she spotted Lily in the grassy expanse, surrounded by her friends. The sight sent a bolt of warmth through Sarah's chest. But it was the image just beyond her daughter that caught her breath. A colorful art stand had been set up, and behind it stood a tall figure, dressed in swirls of bright fabric. He was painting, using large, bold strokes as he created a vibrant mural right before the children's eyes. He smiled at Lily, his paintbrush almost dancing in the air, shaping dreamlike forms out of colors that seemed to come alive. Look, Mom, look what he made. Lily's voice rang out again, pure delight ringing through the summer air. Sarah's gaze locked onto the mural, a giant portrait of a dragon flying through a sunset. It was captivating, full of motion and warmth. But that wasn't what took her breath away. The dragon had Lily's eyes, bright and filled with life, looking curiously back at her. Isn't it amazing? Lily practically bounced on her toes, her excitement contagious. He's gonna paint us next. The world rushed back into clarity as uncertainty flooded Sarah's mind. Next, she echoed, glancing toward the artist, whose warm smile radiated across the distance. Could this be safe? Yes. He said he can paint me with the dragon, like we're flying together. Lily's enthusiasm soared higher, igniting the protective instinct in Sarah once more. Sweetheart, wait. Sarah stepped closer, but the artist's attentiveness to Lily stilled her voice. He motioned for her to come closer, a welcoming gesture that held the promise of connection or, perhaps, chaos. We're capturing moments today, the small joys that make life bright, the artist said, his voice soothing but firm as he noticed Sarah's hesitance. I just want to give these kids a slice of magic, to let them be heroes of their own stories. Magic. The word echoed in Sarah's mind, dancing on the fine line between hope and fear. She saw the spark in Lily's eyes and felt her heart fight to keep the negative thoughts at bay. After everything they had been through, was it really fair to deny Lily this? But how can I trust you? Sarah blurted out, the lump in her throat rising again. You're a stranger. I don't know you at all. I understand, the artist replied, his demeanor gentle but unwavering. Trust is built, not given. Allow the joy to fill the space. Let her explore. In that moment, it was as if the two worlds of possibility collided. Sarah watched as Lily's laughter spilled forth, bright and unyielding, mingling with the colors swirling in the air. Before she could second-guess herself, Lily grabbed her hand, pulling her toward the artist. "Come on, Mom. You have to see this. Just one little step." The edges of Sarah's resolve crumbled as she hesitated, torn between the urge to protect and the yearning to let go. As they approached, she could feel the warmth radiating from the canvas. But at what cost? A tug of uncertainty gripped her soul as she took that fateful step forward. What doors were about to swing open? What truths lay ahead? But just as the warmth enveloped her, a childish voice cut through the backdrop. "Mom, what is he doing? Is he really going to turn me into a princess?" With that, uncertainty tightened its grip again. Could magic truly exist in a world where safety always seemed to vanish in a heartbeat? What would a leap of faith mean for them all? Lily tugged harder at Sarah's hand, her golden curls bouncing with each eager step. "Mom, please, I want to do this." The plea in her voice was sweet, yet it carried a weight that stirred something deep within Sarah's chest. Before Sarah could respond, the artist gestured for them to come closer. "What's your name, sweetheart?" he asked, his voice inviting, as he set down his brush for a moment. "Lily," she beamed, her eyes sparkling like the sun reflecting off the lake. "Lily, what a beautiful name. We're going to create something magical together," he said, turning his attention to the canvas. The colors merged into stunning shades of orange and purple, forming what could only be described as a doorway to imagination. Sarah's heart raced, caught in the tug-of-war between danger and desire. She wanted Lily to experience joy, to stretch her wings. But how could she allow her daughter to step into the unknown? "Are you sure it's safe, Lily?" she asked, her voice deeper with concern. "What if it's not what you expect?" "It will be amazing, Mom. You'll see," Lily insisted, bouncing on her toes again. The innocence of her excitement made it hard for Sarah to resist. The warmth of summer wrapped around her, but it did little to soothe the chill of fear creeping in. "Trust me. Let her have this moment," the artist said softly, catching Sarah's eye. There was something profound in his gaze, a sense of understanding that connected with her motherly instincts. "It's just a painting," Sarah thought, trying to rationalize her apprehensions. All of this might very well be safe. It was just an illusion, just paint on canvas. But the way the colors seemed to pulse with life made her question everything. Suddenly, the artist dipped his brush into a brilliant blue hue, coaxing Lily closer as he began to paint again. "Now, why don't you tell me what makes you feel like a princess?" Lily's face lit up, and she began to twirl in the grass. "I love to explore. I love stories about brave girls." Her animated movements and continuous chatter drew the other children in closer, and Sarah felt the warmth of their joyful energy. "Brave girls like you, who fly on dragons," the artist said, executing swirls and strokes with his brush that echoed Lily's wild imagination. The tension in Sarah began to ease, replaced with a bittersweet mix of pride and longing. This was the world where Lily thrived, bold, bright, and unafraid. Yet, deep down, the familiar shadows of her past still lingered. If I let her go, what if her thoughts collided with the vibrant scene unfolding in front of her? Lily giggled, entranced by the artist's work. "Look, Mom! Look at the dragon!" As the colors took shape, the dragon emerged brilliantly from the canvas, its eyes identical to her own. The moment struck Sarah like lightning. She hadn't just seen the dragon. She had seen Lily's spirit mirrored back at her. It was an invitation, a reminder of the dreams they used to share before fears had begun to fence them in. A tender smile cracked Sarah's faltering resolve. Maybe this was what they needed, a moment to brave her fears by giving Lily the opportunity to dream. To play to badass, the artist stepped back, revealing the swirling masterpiece. Sarah found herself standing on the brink of change. What would it mean to embrace the magic, to believe in possibility again? Suddenly, there was a shout from the crowd. "Mom, look, the dragon is coming to life." Excitement rippled through the gathering, and a chill danced up Sarah's spine. The warmth was growing, but so was the uncertainty. Was it truly safe to dive in? Or would this leap push them far beyond the life they had known? Each heartbeat whispered questions, and as Sarah's gaze flickered to Lily, she knew this was just the beginning. The artist glanced back with a knowing smile, like he was waiting for her decision. Could her daughter navigate this swirl of dreams and colors without her? Or was the real magic to be found in togetherness? With a shaky breath, she took another step forward, the world pulsating with uncharted possibilities. Would embracing this adventure change everything they thought they knew? Lily's laughter rang like a bell, clear and bright, as she pointed at the dragon. Sarah watched her spin, the pure delight radiating from her as if she were a sunbeam dancing through the grass. Every twirl brought them closer to a decision, a soft push toward the unknown that felt both thrilling and terrifying. The artist stepped away from the canvas, his palette still dripping with colors that seemed to shimmer under the afternoon sun. "It's not just paint," he said gently, his voice low enough for just Sarah to hear. "It's a doorway to her imagination. Let her explore it." "Is that really how it works?" she whispered back, a mixture of skepticism and hope painting her words. What if this was all an elaborate illusion, a trap waiting to ensnare her naive daughter? Yet what if it was the key to unlocking a world Sarah had long since locked away? Lily tugged on Sarah's hand again, urging her closer. "Come on, Mom. You'll love it." Her eyes sparkled with promise and adventure. The moment stretched between them, filled with the weight of their shared past and the possibilities of what could be. Sarah's heart pounded in her chest. The shadows of her fears were still there, lurking at the edge of this bright new world. Yet, seeing Lily's spirit, her unfettered joy, made her want to cast aside those shadows. "What if this is the moment I let go?" she thought, fighting with herself. She wanted Lily to fly, to chase those dreams. But what if it hurt when those dreams met reality? The artist began to paint again, his brush moving fluidly as he captured the essence of a brave girl riding a dragon through a landscape of vibrant colors. With each stroke, the image became more alive, more enchanting. He glanced toward Sarah, a spark of encouragement in his eyes. "I believe in magic," he said softly, as if sharing a secret. "Sometimes it's found in the leap of faith. Trust the world around you." It struck her then. Trust. It was what she had been afraid of losing the most. Trust in herself, trust in the world, and trust in the spirits of their dreams. Wasn't that the very thing that had brought them here? A step beyond fear and into the embrace of wonder. Taking another deep breath, Sarah knelt beside Lily, who was now throwing her arms wide, imagining herself as the heroine in this vibrant story. "You know what, sweetheart?" she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I think we can do this together." Lily's eyes widened, disbelief flickering for a moment before she squealed in delight. "Really? Can we?" With a rush of newfound energy, Sarah nodded. "Yes. Let us dive into this adventure." The magic in the air thickened, alive with anticipation. As they stepped toward the artist, he welcomed them both with a warm smile. "Are you ready to make magic?" he asked, the canvas glowing with possibilities that filled Sarah with a sense of purpose she hadn't felt in years. Lily brushed her finger against the edge of the canvas, as if testing the very fabric of imagination. "It's beautiful, Mom. It's just like a story." But before Sarah could respond, the colors began to swirl, shimmering with intensity. There was a tug, a feeling of being drawn into the canvas itself. The laughter and excitement of the crowd faded away, echoing into silence. "Mom, what's happening?" Lily's voice rose with a hint of worry, yet the wonder in her eyes remained in that moment. With the world around them shifting, Sarah's heart raced. This was it. They were on the precipice of something incredible, a moment that could change everything. But as that light of possibility enveloped them, she couldn't shake the nagging question in her mind: could they emerge from this together? Or would they be forever altered in ways they couldn't yet understand? The light enveloped them, swirling around like a warm embrace. It felt as if they were being held by the fabric of dreams. Sarah swallowed hard, heart pounding as her surroundings shimmered and twisted. 1 second they were standing near the artist's canvas, and the next, the vibrant world on the painting was drawing them in. "Hold my hand, Lily," Sarah shouted, her voice laced with fright and excitement. She reached out as their fingers entwined, the grip tightening like a lifeline to cling to in an ocean of uncertainty. They stepped into the kaleidoscope of colors, sensations crashing over them like waves. The air sparkled, fragrant with sweet blooms and fresh grass. The laughter shifted, now echoing from all around them, not just from their own voices but from this fantastic realm they had entered. "Wow, look at that!" Lily exclaimed, her enthusiasm bursting forth. A colorful dragon soared overhead, its scales glistening in hues Sarah had never imagined. The dragon twisted and curled through the sky, inviting them to join its flight. A sudden thrill went through Sarah. This world was alive, pulsing with possibility. But just as quickly as her excitement rose, a thread of fear tugged at her heart. What if we can't find our way back? The thought clawed at her, a shadow threading itself between the brilliance. Yet, when she looked down at Lily, the girl was beaming, eyes wide with wonder, as she pointed at a cluster of candy-colored trees that appeared to be whispering secrets to one another. "Mom, look, they're talking." Sarah's heart melted at the infectious innocence of her daughter's awe. She breathed in deeply, trying to absorb the magic around them. "Let us explore, then," she said, urging herself to embrace the unknown alongside her daughter. This was what she wanted. This was the adventure. They wandered, skipping through fields of flowers that seemed to dance with them, petals brushing against their legs like the gentle touch of nature's love. The colors of the landscape pulsed as if each flower had its own heartbeat, harmonizing with Lily's laughter. But Sarah's smile faltered slightly. With every flicker of joy Lily displayed, a flicker of worry echoed in Sarah's chest. Could she truly let go of the fear that had trailed her for years? A golden butterfly landed on Lily's outstretched finger, and they both watched in quiet awe, absorbing the weightlessness of the moment. "It's so beautiful, Mom." "It really is," Sarah replied, her voice thick with emotion. She watched the wings shimmer, letting a tiny bit of hope awaken within her. Maybe this was a chance to find that spark she thought she'd lost forever. Yet, as they meandered deeper into this enchanting realm, the laughter began to fade, replaced by a distant hum that seemed to resonate through the ground beneath their feet. A chill slithered down Sarah's spine. "Lily, do you hear that?" Lily tilted her head, her eyes narrowing. "It's different. Is it scary?" Sarah shook her head, trying to quell her rising anxiety. Maybe it's just part of the adventure. But as they delved deeper into the scene, the light-changed shadows began to emerge, darting around the edges of their vision like whispering doubts. The dragon circled back and landed nearby, a knowing look in its large, wise eyes. As it settled, a feeling of urgency gripped Sarah's heart. She sensed that their journey might hold more than she'd anticipated, more than she was ready to face. "Mom, what if we can't go back?" Lily whispered, her smile faltering as the shadows thickened around them, spiraling into an unknown that left no comfort behind. Sarah squeezed her daughter's hand, feeling her own fear mirrored in Lily's eyes. They were far from home, and the deeper they traveled, the more uncertain the path ahead became. What if we actually have to confront our greatest fears to find our way back? She thought, her next words unsteady yet resolute. "Whatever happens, we'll face it together." But just then, a new sound cracked through the air. An unimaginable roar erupted from the depths of the forest, sending a tremor through the ground beneath them. It was a call, an invitation, and a warning all at once. As the ground shook, Sarah braced herself, heart racing. What lay ahead was more than just an adventure. They were about to uncover a truth that might change everything. Would they emerge stronger, or would they be swallowed whole by the shadows of their past? The thunderous roar echoed again, reminding them both this wasn't just a journey into a fantasy. It was a confrontation with their reality. "Mom, what if we can't handle it?" came Lily's worried voice. Sarah looked into her daughter's eyes, resting a hand on her cheek. "Let us find out," she said, steeling herself for what was to come. The adventure was just beginning, but both knew that facing it would demand everything they had. The ground trembled beneath them, sending vibrations up through their feet and into their hearts. As the roar faded into a deep rumble, the air crackled with tension. Sarah felt the weight of the moment, the electricity of fear mixed with the thrilling unknown. "Mom?" Lily's voice was barely a whisper now, her innocence clashing harshly with the impending confrontation. "Stay close, sweetheart," Sarah replied, her heart pounding. She scanned their surroundings, searching for the source of the sound. The vibrant colors of the enchanted landscape seemed to dim, shadows stretching long and thin, wrapping around the trees, painting a picture of unease. Suddenly, from the darkness, a figure emerged. It was massive, built from swirling mist and shadows that twisted like smoke. But it was the eyes that froze Sarah, an icy blue that gleamed with an unsettling awareness. The creature was not just a figment of fear. It was a manifestation of everything she'd ever wanted to avoid. "Who disturbs my realm?" The creature rumbled, the ground shivering with its voice. Sarah took a deep breath, wrapping her fingers tighter around Lily's. "We were just exploring. We mean no harm." Her own voice wavered, disbelief mingling with determination. "Exploring?" It took a step closer, the very air feeling heavy with its presence. "This place holds truths, and truths often cut deeper than blades." "What do you mean?" Sarah asked, her heart racing, but a mix of curiosity pushed her forward. She felt as if she were on the brink of something profound. The creature didn't respond, but instead pointed a long, shadowy finger toward the depths of the forest. Its gesture was both an invitation and a warning. "To leave this place, you must confront what lies within. Each shadow here is a part of you, hidden but alive. Only by facing them can you hope to return." Lily squeezed Sarah's hand tighter. "What does that mean, Mom?" The tremor of fear in her voice was palpable, making Sarah's heart ache. "It means," Sarah hesitated, the weight of the monstrous words settling hard on her chest. "They were here to confront their fears, yes, but how deep did those fears run? It means we have to be brave and face whatever comes at us." "But what if it's too much?" Lily's wide eyes glistened with tears that threatened to spill. Sarah knelt down, pulling her daughter close. "We've faced hard things before, haven't we? We can do this together." But even as she said it, her doubts stirred, creeping into her mind with whispering echoes. What if they were pulled too deep? What if confronting the shadows only revealed darkness? The thought hung heavily in the air. The creature shifted, its form boiling with disdain. "Time will not wait. The shadows grow impatient, and you stand on the edge. What will happen if we go deeper?" Sarah asked, her voice now stronger, defiant against the onslaught of uncertainty. "It will be the turning point of your journey," it replied cryptically. "Not just the adventure, but the unraveling of your very essence." Sarah shared a glance with Lily. She could see the determination and worry tangled in her daughter's gaze. They had come so far, and even though shadows loomed, they couldn't turn back now. The fears they held were theirs to conquer, and running from them would only tether them to this moment indefinitely. Together, Sarah whispered, though her voice quivered, "We can do this together." As they stepped forward, shadows danced around them, twisting into forms of their past and the fears that haunted them. Sarah could feel her heart racing, each beat matching the rhythm of her unspoken fears. Would her darkest moments come crashing back? The shadows recoiled for a moment, flickering like flames, before they expanded, almost impatiently. A low growl reverberated through the air, resonating within her, and she understood now they were not just shadows. They were memories, fears, and pain waiting to be acknowledged. "What now?" Lily's voice trembled again, but there was a spark of hope that ignited within her eyes. "Now we face the shadows and uncover the truths they guard." As they stepped forward into the heart of darkness, the echoes of laughter and color distorted between fear and reality. Sarah knew they were not just wandering into unknown terrain, they were stepping into a realm of transformation. The realization struck her. Could they truly emerge stronger? But just then, nestled among the shadows, a flicker of gold caught Sarah's eye. An unmistakable glimmer, the dragon. It wheeled back around, nodding as if it understood their journey. With every ounce of bravery she summoned, the shadows pulsed around them. And in that moment, confronted with the vast unknown, one thing was clear. The adventure was just beginning, and the greatest truths awaited. What will we discover about ourselves? Sarah breathed, the lingering question hanging heavy in the air as a new, profound roar echoed from the depths of the forest, beckoning them deeper into the mystery. The shadows swirled around Sarah and Lily, thick like fog and alive with unspoken fears. Each step they took echoed into the darkness, the air shimmering with uncertainty. Every rustle made Lily jump, her hand gripping Sarah's as if it were a lifeline. "Keep breathing," Sarah encouraged, but her own breath felt heavy, laden with concern. What would they face? What shadows lay in wait? Each moment seemed to drag, a slow march toward an unknown reckoning. As they ventured deeper, the forest transformed. Gnarled trees twisted above them, their branches clawing at the sky like sorrowful hands. Wisps of fog tugged at their heels, whispering memories Sarah thought she'd buried long ago. The vulnerability of those memories tugged at her heart, a gnawing reminder of all she had avoided. "Mom?" Lily's voice was soft, almost lost in the suffocating silence. "Yes, sweetheart?" Sarah felt her pulse racing, the connection between them a steady warmth amid the cold shadows. "Do you think we can really find out the truth?" Lily's eyes shone with a mix of fear and hope. "What if it's not what we expected? That's part of the journey," Sarah replied softly, her voice steadying despite her innate anxieties. "We have to trust that whatever we find will make us stronger." Suddenly, the shadows around them coalesced into familiar shapes, memories emanating and twisting into visions. A moment surfaced. Sarah, a younger version of herself, standing alone in a familiar room, clutching a tattered teddy bear. The feeling of abandonment washed over her, an acute awareness of feeling less than enough, of wanting to be seen. "Mom," Lily whispered, "is that you?" "Yes, it is." Sarah found her voice trembling. The ache of that memory tightened around her throat like a noose. "I've tried to forget moments like that." As if mocking her past, the shadows around them darkened, thickening with her fears. She could feel their weight pressing in, pushing against her chest. "I've always worried I'd be too much or not enough," she confessed, her heart pounding in her ears. Lily looked up at her, confusion flashing across her face. "But you're not like that now. You're strong." "Maybe, but those doubts still linger," Sarah admitted, her own insecurities slipping out. "Every time I doubt myself, a part of me goes back to that girl." "In this place we can change that," Lily urged, her young voice filled with sincerity. "What if we face those shadows together? They can't hurt us if we're brave." Sarah felt a warmth spread across her heart, a mother's instinct mixed with pride. She took a deep breath, embracing her daughter's courage and innocence. "You're right. Together we can rewrite that story." With renewed determination, they pressed on, the shadows dancing as if teasing their resolve. Another shape emerged, a formidable wall of darkness, tall and obstructive. It loomed ahead, threatening to swallow them whole. "We have to go through that," Sarah said, a knot in her stomach. "What if we can't?" Lily's voice quivered. "Then we'll climb," Sarah said with newfound confidence. "The only way out is through. We're not backing down, are we?" Lily looked into her mother's eyes, the fire of hope igniting in her. "No, we'll face it." They took steps forward, hand in hand, and as they approached the wall, it began to pulse, as if alive, each thrum synchronizing with their heartbeats. Sarah's breath hitched. What lies behind it? She wondered aloud, fear teasing the edges of her bravery. "I don't know," Lily replied honestly, "but I think it might be something really important." With one final look at each other, they dove into the dark wall, a plunge into the depths of their fears, ready to face whatever awaited. And as they disappeared into the shadows, a tremor echoed through the forest, signaling that something extraordinary was about to unfold, something that could change everything. What would they face on the other side? They burst through the wall of shadows, stumbling into a brilliantly illuminated grove. The brightness stung their eyes at first, but as they blinked away the darkness, they could see the scene unfolding around them. It was stunning. A kaleidoscope of colors dancing in harmony, blooming with life. Lily gasped, her wide eyes sparkling like stars. "Look, Mom!" she exclaimed, her voice full of hope and wonder. Before them stood a gathering of fantastical creatures, unicorns prancing playfully, fairies flitting about, leaving trails of shimmering dust. There was a golden light that enveloped everything, wrapping them in warmth, washing away the shadows that had clung to their hearts. "It's beautiful," Sarah breathed, her heart swelling. But amid the enchantment, a shadow flickered at the edges of her mind. The doubts, the worries, they lingered like cobwebs, but now they felt lighter, almost ethereal. Suddenly, a voice broke through the beauty. "Welcome, brave souls." It was the dragon, majestic against the backdrop of color, its iridescent scales glimmering. "You have passed through the darkness to find the truth within." "What truth?" Sarah asked, her knees trembling yet steadied by her daughter's hand in hers. "The truths of your hearts," the dragon replied, its demeanor wise and calm. "Every shadow you faced was a part of your fears. Now, let them transform into your strengths." Lily stepped forward, her petite figure brimming with courage. "What about those fears? What if they come back?" Sarah's resolve surged. Tightening her grip on Lily's hand, she said, "No, sweetheart. They won't return, not in the same way. We've faced them. Together." At that moment, the grove shimmered and shifted. Images began to unfold around them in swirling colors, moments of doubt for each of them. Sarah as a child feeling abandoned, scraps of paper crumpled in her hands, whispering not enough. Lily stood before her, a fount of innocence and strength, and suddenly, there were images of Sarah cradling her, whispering words of encouragement. I in that kaleidoscope of memories. Sarah recognized her journey, the sacrifices, the love, the moments of pure connection. "You were never just the fears you faced," the dragon continued, "but the courage you found amid them." Tears pricked at Sarah's eyes. "I was scared to let go," she murmured, realization settling within her. "But love, real love, means not holding on to fears, but letting our hearts be free." "I want to fly too, Mom," Lily exclaimed, her voice lighter than air, as if the magic of hope lifted her. And that when it happened, the energies surrounding them converged, and with a whoosh, they found themselves in a warm embrace of sunlight. The shadows dissolved further, retreating, allowing them to breathe easy. The burdens melted away, revealing radiant paths forward. "You've discovered bravery and peace," the dragon told them. "These will lead you home." "Home," Sarah whispered, reflection woven into her voice. "Is what we've created together. Isn't it?" "Yes." Lily cheered, pure delight surging through her. "We can face any darkness now, because we're together." The dragon nodded, its eyes glistening like jewels. "Remember, the light is always within you. Empower each other, nurture the love you share. And when the shadows threaten to return, embrace the strength you have gained." With newfound energy, Sarah and Lily turned to the shimmering portal that lay ahead, warmth radiating from both faces. Taking a deep breath, they clasped each other's hands tightly, hearts steady, and stepped confidently forward. As they crossed the threshold, colors burst forth, filling them with joy, hope, and an unshakable bond. When they emerged back into the backyard, laughter greeted them. The party continued, vibrant and alive. Yet this time everything felt different. Sarah felt lighter, unburdened, and looked down to find Lily smiling radiantly beside her. "Did you see what we saw?" Lily beamed, excitement bubbling over. "Yes, sweetheart. And we're gonna carry that with us. Forever." As the sun shone upon them, Sarah felt a wave of peace wash over her. Heart a melody of reassurance that they had transformed. They hadn't just stepped out of shadows. They had brought light back into their lives, stronger and more connected than ever. And as the dragon soared overhead, flickering against the bright blue sky, Sarah clasped Lily's hand tighter, knowing whatever lay ahead, they would face it together. In that moment, with every child's laugh filling the air and the vibrant colors of the world alive around them. She knew this was their new beginning, a journey built on love, faith, and an unbreakable bond. If you found inspiration in their story and want to keep feeling this magic, you need to subscribe now. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait not even one more second to hit that like button and feed the algorithm. It really makes a difference. Comment below with your thoughts and feelings about this ending. How did it impact you? And share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Together, let us celebrate love, bravery, and the journey of life.